About a week ago, I heard that Overwatch was going to end its Season 4 competitive in about 2 to 3 weeks. Now, of course, I pretty much knew this, I paid a lot of attention to competitive, but it wasn't really in the front of my mind, at least for now. Now, that might sound kind of weird, as, Season 4 has essentially made you play the game a ton, and a lot more than what most people would like to play, once every single day, for every single week, but I kind of got around that by simply not playing this season. I had a lot of other stuff I wanted to try to do. I focus a bit more on school, do a lot more on my Switch, and just kind of continue doing some fun stuff like that. But during these last few weeks, I decided, I gotta put in the effort. I gotta go back into ranked and do the thing that I like to do and be able to play the game for a half-decent amount of time. Now, when I finally decided to do that, though, things got a little bit bad this season, and not the most happy stuff that I've had so far. And this is probably a tale of woe to tell you guys. Don't play ranked for the first time in the last 3 weeks of ranked. It's definitely a bad idea. Anyways, what actually ended up happening was that I joined the first game by myself, thinking, I could do okay with this. And immediately I'm paired up with 5 support players, which, normally wouldn't be, I guess, that bad. Unfortunately, though, all of them would only play supports. So we got all 5 supports, even though there's only like 4. But, we got all the 5 supports with a Torb, I think, as well. And played the game from there. And obviously lost that game. I think I was Winston or Reinhardt. Couldn't really do anything. It was kind of troublesome. From there, though, we figured out, or at least I figured out, that if I play with a friend, that's probably not going to happen. I'm going to have a lot better games. So I do queue up with my friend. We play 4 games. We're on a really nice winning streak of 4. And then from there, we decide to queue up for 1 more game. And immediately as that happens, we get in the game. We start playing for 3 or 4 minutes, winning pretty precisely. And then his internet essentially cuts out. He was playing DPS and I was playing tank, and he had to quickly switch from DPS into another tank, which he normally doesn't really play way too much, so he can't really do that way too much at all. Overall, it was a really hard game. We ended up losing that one, queuing up for a role that you aren't very good at because you're lagging quite a bit. It's not the most great thing that you'd want to do. I'll continue from there, though. I think we got another win. I think we got a total of 5 wins. So, I guess that was half decent. But after that, we got some of the most frustrating things I think I've ever had. In my placement games, trying to get all the way to Masters and hopefully being placed in Masters, which unfortunately didn't actually end up happening this season, we played the first game. Got straight into that thing. We had, our tank and our DPS, which we normally like to play duo queue. And the first time where he's not lagging, where we can play the game normally, after all that, we log into the game, and instantly as we get in there, somebody just bolts on out. I don't even know why exactly, just losing himself some SR, and we get put back into the lobby. We're like, okay, that's kind of weird. Normally people don't really happen to do that up in Masters and Diamond, I guess, but, that's okay. So we get into our next game. We started up, and I feel like we're doing pretty well in this game, but within the next 3 to 4 minutes, we kept our first point, and someone on our team just happens to leave. I'm pretty sure I'm playing Mercy this game, which I guess doesn't really matter way too much, but they just leave. I don't really know exactly why. Kind of unfortunate. There you go. Continuing there, though, we log into another game on Nepal. We're about to push first point. Not even very far into the game. Maybe like a minute, maybe 2 minutes into the game. Not really doing way too much. Not being able to push the first point, which is unfortunate. And after our 3rd time, trying to push with a full dive comp and failing, the guy just leaves the game. And we're essentially just screwed from there. We weren't doing that great in the first place, so of course we're not going to be able to beat it 5v6, but still, that was pretty frustrating. Finally, though, as a 3rd time, we log into the game again, get ready to play another one. We're on Route 66, straight in there, hoping for a nice, fun game, and again, I'm playing Mercy, my friend's playing DPS, and somebody just leaves straight in the first 5 to 10 minutes. And I don't know why this is happening. I guess it is the end of the season. I guess people already got their ranks they want. But it's so frustrating getting so many AFKs in a row. But it doesn't really stop there. I get placed in quite high damage, We did go 5 and 5, so it doesn't really matter way too much. It was okay. I was hoping to be placed in Master, but that didn't quite work. So we decided, let's just give this another go, play another game. And we log on to that one, and guess what happens? About 4 to 5 minutes into the game, someone's gone. And after that, I just stopped playing for the night. I thought, that wasn't going to work. That's not that great for me. I shouldn't be playing. So I stopped playing that and just left it for the day. About 2 to 3 days later, because my friend got a Switch, so he's not going to be online, I do a queue with another guy who plays a lot of support, so that's pretty cool. I went Winston, we got into a match, it was King of the Hill, and of course we had full 6 people. We actually had a really good team comp too, a full dive comp which worked for the entire first match. I think we're on Oasis or something like that. We get onto this, and we just demolish during the first round. Straight up through them, it's like a clean 100 to 0. We get into the next round, clean 100 to 0 them once again. We get into the third round. We're at 70%. They haven't even touched this thing so far. And as we're at that percent, we get, guess what again? Somebody that leaves the game. Just right after that for some reason. The person doesn't say anything again, as none of these guys said anything. They just leave out of nowhere and just continue from there. We try to play out the game. We lose that round. We lose the next round. Of course, being down a man makes it really, really hard. And we're finally to the 5th round. And on this round, you know, we're still actually trying. We had a other guy in our team chat who was also talking to our teammates, trying to make us play as well as we could. And I was trying to do as well. And, you know, we're doing okay. We finally got into the last match, and they got it all the way to 70% or so. Then we took the point, you know, did decently on that. And finally, we were at the point. It got all the way to 98%. And they finally just team up our team. My friend, as no mercy, gets a 3-man res. I barely die after he reses. And we barely lose that team fight. 5v6. And then, you know, we just lost that game. Just ended from there. And then after that, we just played another game. And we just didn't play way too well, and we lost. But overall, I'm going to say that those were not very fun games. And I feel like that was pretty unlucky of me to be able to play those games. But the one thing that I want to bring to you about these, other than me just, of course, being salty and telling people my tale of woe, and to not play during the last few weeks, as that's probably a bad idea, is how even if I was so unlucky, and even if these matches weren't that great at all, I could still have a decent amount of fun in them. I still played the games, I still tried my best even after these players were gone, and even though I didn't win a single one of them, which is going to be the obvious majority of the time that happens, you can still enjoy the game, and it definitely isn't a reason to stop playing the game. I've had many friends that get into Overwatch, they play a few matches, maybe even play 20 to 30 matches of competitive, and they just get unlucky for a few games in a row, and they just stop playing. They just think, you know, this game's trash, I hate this game, and they don't keep going. I'm going to say, just keep playing the game if you enjoy it. Just kind of joke it off and carry on. Of course, you want to get a higher rank, but if you are getting matches like this, it doesn't really represent you. You know that that rank isn't from how well you're doing, you know that that rank's not from how badly you're doing, you know that's just happening to be what happens. That always sometimes happens. And you should just continue playing and continue trying your best, even with that in mind. Now, of course, I know it's going to be hard. Of course, I know it probably won't be that fun for all of us. So some people just purely want to win the game. But if you can keep it in your mind that even if you're unlucky, you can still enjoy the game, or even if you're unlucky that you can take those losses, even though they aren't really fair at all, but bringing them into your mind and using them to, I guess, want to even get better in the future, that's what I definitely tell you guys to try to do. Again, not something that I would prefer on anyone, not someone that I would really wish on anyone, as it's just kind of unfair, let's be honest. But it's something that does happen. It's something that I wanted to tell you guys about. As well with that, if you guys have your own experiences of just simply being unlucky in Overwatch and something that has maybe made you actually want to quit the game, tell me in the comment section down below, and let's just get this all out. I feel like a lot of people do have a lot of rage about Overwatch competitive. You know, don't be mean to anyone. Just say what happened to you, what was annoying, and why it was annoying, and just get it out. And then just go back into Overwatch, play the game, and enjoy the game. Anyways, as always, guys, hope you enjoyed the video, and have a wonderful day.